house. So you got to get your you got to get the sun and moon sign and a rising sign in there too, and you also got to get their tarot card.
I'm starting the recording right now.
Genius.
I started the recording.
Personality types.
Yeah.
The intuitive feelers right there. Those are the guys
Okay, hopefully this is not getting cut out. I'm joking. Cut this out. Please continue, Ben.
You want me to cut out what you just said? I just started recording like a few seconds.
No, don't. No,
Okay.
don't. Who cares?
Okay, let's
leave
do
it
this.
in if you want.
Okay, Dan. So my strategy is to not have a script, but like legit, I could ask you something unrelated to the typing, but possibly related. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep asking you questions, essentially.
Let's fucking go, man.
So
I'm all yours, baby.
everyone, welcome to the YouTube. My video is Mr. Thick related again. Another Mr. Thick video. It's gonna be a banger, hopefully. I'm gonna type Dan, and letter M is morality. Morals. Gonna be fun. Okay, Dan. This is the first question. It's not actually morals related, but it's kind of like an icebreaker. I'm not sure. A weird one. Dan? When was the last time you were angry?
Oh, the last time I was angry. That's a great question. I'm probably gonna say that's a great question to everything, by the way, because apparently I said that. And you do have a great question.
Thank you.
You do have wonderful questions.
Yeah.
Okay, the last time I was angry. So I think it's genuinely hard to make me angry, like genuinely very hard, because I'm very easily able to separate myself from my emotions when I want to, right? So if I can see someone's being really irrational or someone's being just totally like fucking off the deep end, like angry.
Yeah.
And this actually happened earlier today when I was at the fucking store. Some dude was just losing his shit like a foot away from me.
Yep.
Not at me, but he was just going wild at like the checkout person.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I just kind of separated from him. I was like, wow, this is fascinating. Like looking at this dude just be a fucking animal. Right?
The mad scientist approach.
Okay. Yeah, literally. I was just watching this dude and I was like, it's like being at a zoo, dude.
Yes.
So to try and genuinely answer your question, it's been a long time. I would say
amazing.
I would say at least weeks, if not months.
Damn.
Yeah.
What if you woke up with your limbs cut off? Would you be angry, scared? Like if someone removed your limb?
Yeah, I think I would freak the fuck out if my limbs were cut off. 'Cause, like, I definitely am a very like physically,
you need that shit for your life.
Like, yeah. I love feeling energy in my body, and I like fucking moving around and doing shit, and like being able to like physically do shit. Fuck, man, if I lost all my limbs, I would just be like the only value I would have would be my big brain.
Like, yeah, and I know how you feel. I literally know how you feel, dude. That shit sucks.
Oh, fuck, yeah,
being dismembered being dismembered to any degree is terrifying to me. Just because I'd lose autonomy over what I could have done earlier. You know what I mean? Like I've been limited in my ability, and it's like just terrifying to think about.
And autonomy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Freedom and autonomy are huge. So I think my first instinct then would be to freak the fuck out and think it's a dream or something, and be like, no way, this is actually happening.
I was gonna say
like I would reject
violently.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a joke. I was gonna say
reaction.
I was gonna say a joke of like, what would you feel then if you woke up with your brain cut off as well? Like that's but
I'm gonna cut your eye off.
Oh no, please. Okay.
How do you cut an eye off though?
That'd be hard. I've seen a video before, but it was like a fake video. It's like a shock video, but it was fake. It was like but anyway. Okay, that's an interesting answer for sure. The anger one. Actually, Dan, I'll give you a lore of why I asked that question. I don't regularly ask it, maybe semi-regularly. When I type people in text chat, which doesn't happen often, but when I do, I often ask something similar about getting angry triggered. The reason is because it's a preemptive thing where if the person I'm typing gets mad during the typing session, I can just refer back to, oh, do you remember the first time I asked you in the typing session when was the last time you were angry? I guess now is the last time you were angry.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha thing.
I
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you added the word triggered, I will say that something does trigger me, which is when I'm dealing with business owners or like brand owners.
Yeah.
And they're very like stubborn, and they kind of refuse to like see what I'm trying to tell them. which isn't exactly their fault. I'd say the responsibility is more on me, like to actually explain it
So
properly.
you
in,
get
like, a language
frustrated
they can
about it? Like,
understand.
would you say triggered? Like,
Yeah, I do get frustrated about it.
okay, but like, how
It's
bad does it
almost
get?
like-
Do you do anything monkey-like? Do you engage in any like
Nah.
animalistic behavior when that happens?
No.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
no. I've never just fucking like punched a wall or some shit. Like I can't even fathom that shit happening, right? I've never just done that shit.
Oh wow.
I think maybe like once when I was 16, like I kind of like really went insane at like my parents once and my brother.
Mm.
But I think I was like hormonal or some shit, you know, like crazy ass hormones when you're like 16 or whatever. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but that was like a long time ago.
Do you
Even the
relate?
last time I was really angry was 14 years ago, bro.
I see. That's insane. Holy shit. Wait.
I'm just-
It makes me want to ask though a question.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of person that relates to, you know how they like, if you're stressed after a long day, you'd be like fucking someone really good, like, you know, just actually SE,
Oh, yeah.
what's the word? SE grip or whatever.
Yeah, pent up frustration that you can have an outlet for. Yeah, totally. So I love to do that in the gym too.
Oh,
So I do like to like channel that physicality.
yes.
But I will say that I can channel that in different ways. It doesn't need to necessarily be a physical release because I can detach from it if I need to, right? I can kind of almost go from my body. Like I would say that I've got an ability to go into my body, into my head, and into my heart, like all three.
Wow.
I genuinely feel that I can. Yeah.
That's insane. That's
It's
like
something I've,
almost
like, developed.
superhuman. Yeah. Something.
There are ways you
Yeah.
can do it. I'll tell you about it in DMs at some point.
Oh yeah. You know the term as well, like the head triad, gut triad, and heart triad. So would you say
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you
dude,
also
that's
have
a
a
good
good
point.
balance for your gut and in your head and in your heart?
I think I think over the last few years, I've developed more into my heart and body than I used to be. So I think my main ones were body and head, and I think I was pretty detached from my fucking heart. Actually, I think I was detached from my emotions. I was that like I've been called a robot before, like years ago, right? By like ex-girlfriends and previous people and stuff. Like a bit of a robot, like because I'm always stoic, I'm always calm. I didn't necessarily get that affected by shit.
Yeah.
Now I'd say I have the choice. Like I can get really passionate about shit. I can get really excited about stuff, or I can kind of stay in that robot mode if I feel like that's the best choice. So I would say I'm very like, I work towards being able to be dynamic, and being able to choose the optimal like move depending on the situation, depending on the context.
I see.
That's like the way I like to play it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I think we can now move on to the next the non-icebreaker question. Let me just see if I can find it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, the next question for you.
Man, you've always broken the ice, by the way. There's
Sorry.
never ice with you, Ben. There's never ice with you, bro. The flow just happens. You don't even need to break the ice.
Yeah. For sure. So morality. So Dan, the question I have for you is, how would you TLDR your opinions on abortion or your thoughts on abortion?
So I'm pretty pro-choice. I will say that I don't really know the fucking science and like the biology behind abortions. I've heard some crazy shit. Like I've heard some crazy shit from both sides.
Yeah.
I will say though, I believe in freedom of choice when it comes to your body, right? So if a woman wants to abort a baby before it's fucking, you know, to me, it's not alive until like way later, right? I don't know the exact time that I would say it's alive, but I don't think if you get an abortion like very early on that you're killing anything, right? There's no fucking consciousness there, right? So I'm totally fine with abortion. In fact, I think it's so much better when you can abort a kid that you can't look after properly. I'm definitely pro-choice. I think a lot of that shit, I'm not going to say all of it, but I think a lot of that shit is like religious bullshit and just conservative, traditional, like very religious bullshit, basically. I think a lot of it is based on religion, which I think is fucking stupid. Like, I don't think religion should be impacting laws and stuff like that. Because if you're forced to have a baby that you can't look after properly, because, like, legally you can't abort it, I think that's fucking insane. I think that's bad for society, you know? It's bad for the fucking people involved. Just because you wanted to fuck and have sex without a condom. I don't blame him, dude. Condoms suck.
How do you feel about the Philippines, and I'm sure a lot of other countries, making it illegal
I actually really
to
like
abort.
the Philippines.
To abort. The Philippines
Yeah.
making abortion illegal. You know, a lot of countries that are.
Oh, I'm actually so devastated about that. I
Yeah,
feel really disappointed that that's a thing in the Philippines.
yeah. There are
So is the
many.
Philippines
Yeah.
like this is me?
Sorry.
Um, this is kind of me asking you a question, I guess. But is the Philippines pretty conservative at least right
Very,
now?
yeah.
Like,
It's conservative, and it's experiencing a gradual shifts. You know, Western influence on social media and other places. You know,
oh, good.
my university is it's
Yeah.
Catholic. It's a Catholic university run by Jesuits,
Gotcha.
and there are like pride marches and stuff, and there's no resistance at all. Like in terms of, they're actually like, it's actually like the institution itself. It doesn't speak out against it in any capacity at all, because it kind of helps them get money. Like it's kind of like business friendly. If you say something against that,
Yeah.
like, I think it's just like there's no point for them to disagree. Sure, their morals, maybe like the Catholic morals are not for that, but like at the end of the day, institutions are still a business, you know.
Strategically.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Your university.
makes sense.
I'm a lot of Filipinos are already westernized about stuff like that. So you're
Yeah,
gonna
cool.
you're gonna
Cool.
get canceled, I guess. Like an institution itself being pressured by
Yeah.
the masses. Like that's the thing that's happening now, for sure.
Got you.
It's a strong
Yeah.
force. It's really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Right. Then what I would say is, yeah, my opinion on the Philippines like banning abortion, I'm pretty disappointed about that. Like
Yeah.
I would like to see more countries and more states and all that shit keep it legal. Just because that's my view. I view that my view is that freedom should be one of the highest priorities and highest values that we have.
The thing in the Philippines that as well. Another thing to note is trying to remember. So, especially the Philippines is a special Catholic nation because in Asia, or at least Southeast Asia, I'm not sure if it's entirety of Asia, it's the only, I think in Southeast Asia, probably Asia, I'm not sure, but it's the only Catholic state in Asia or Southeast Asia or something like that. It's a really distinct
Oh, that's
country.
pretty cool.
Yeah, everything
That
around
is a
it,
very-
everything around it is like
Yeah,
Muslims or Buddhists or the Thai. There's the Thai and there's the Vietnamese, and then there's the Malaysians, which are very more extreme right, and then you can't even be gay there.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Oh, we get like fucking
The Philippines
or
is kind of
something.
like an outlier in where
I like that,
geographically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, I'm a fan of the Philippines, like in general. Like, not only are you from the Philippines, Ben, Kingpin,
You're biased because of Kingpin and I
you
being there.
badass motherfuckers are from the Philippines,
Yeah.
but also I've hired a lot of Filipinos,
Oh, yeah.
and they do better than like most other people when it comes to like work ethic and like ability to get shit done and stuff. Like, I enjoy working with Filipinos. Like when I
I
hire them and shit.
agree. I always like
Yeah.
if I'm about to
That's
outsource, one of
badasses.
my favorite to go to is Manila.
Really?
Easily.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bang bang. Yeah.
Yep.
Straight up.
Mhm.
Fuck India and all that shit. Like India's so hit and miss, and same with like Bangladesh and Pakistan and all that shit. Get a
Crazy.
Filipino, and like you guys are just so westernized that it just fits in perfectly with us.
There's also time zones, right? It's closer to yours, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, same
Which
as
in a way
your time
probably
zone.
sucks. to fuck you.
Same as your time
Yeah, but
zone.
it's exactly our time then. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're identical.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the Filipino stuff. The next question I have for you is, are you religious, spiritual? What are your religious and spiritual convictions? Thoughts on religion and spirituality in general?
Great fucking question. Another great question from you, Ben, man.
Thank
So I am not religious.
Mhm.
I was born Christian, like my
Like
my
me as well.
mom is
Mhm.
Christian. She's not super heavily into it, but she does believe in God, and I think she believes that like she'll raise better kids if she raises them Christians. I was baptized and all that stuff, but it was
Same.
never super like forced on me, so it was pretty chill.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in any religion really.
Yep.
I believe in spirituality though. I do feel like I'm a spiritual person, and I do think
Oh.
that spiritual growth is a real thing.
Oh, sure.
So
Tell me more.
when I say that I believe in spirituality,
Yeah.
I say that I believe in something beyond the material world. Like I believe in something beyond what we can see and experience just physically, right?
Wow.
And something beyond science,
Uh-huh.
something beyond what we can test scientifically.
Yeah.
the main reason I believe in that, by the way, is because I actually think it's one of the most empowering beliefs you can have. So I would say that I approach this, like in my mind, I approach this from a very logical perspective of like, okay, what should you believe in, as opposed to like what's real and what's true? Because I don't fucking know what's true. I don't think anyone actually does. I think people just make up their beliefs, right? I think we're all just making up our own deluded ass reality. So my view is, why not choose a version of reality and a belief system that empowers you, that makes your life better, right? So from my perspective, that is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that believing in spirituality is actually a great benefit to your life when you do it in particular ways.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I think that there is great merit in being spiritual, but not necessarily religious by following some like fucking doctrine or whatever. You get like handed commandments and you're like, that's how you got to live.
Yeah.
No, I think you should make your own like religion in a way, or your own spiritual like approach to life. Because to me, that's actually very like legit. It's very real and like very authentic to you.
Yeah.
And I do think, and this is probably like this might be a little bit of a thing if any typologist like hears this. I do think authenticity and like being in touch with your true self is very important.
Yeah. Okay. So this one
And I
is...
think spirituality is heavily related to that.
I see. That's interesting, actually. Well, you're making me ask a follow-up question, which is, I don't think you want to have kids, right? So if your niece or nephew asked you a question, Dan, which is, I don't know, if you end up in a situation where your niece or nephew asks you why stealing a cookie or a cookie jar is bad. It's like, how would you explain that to imagine your nephew being the most and it's not a regular nephew, it's the most ENTP nephew you can ever find. Like imagine like a nephew with no moral system at all, like questioning, trying to figure out what moral system to follow, and their current impression is that there is no such thing as an absolute moral system to follow, which I think you agree with that. But in their like, how would you approach a conversation with them about like why stealing cookies from the jar is like bad?
I love this, by the way. That's an awesome. That's wicked. So
I've never asked this question, by the way. This is my first time asking. Is this something that came out of my what you
this
told
is improv,
me?
right? Yeah,
it's really good.
Beautiful spontaneity, man. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I love it. So because they're more like ENTP, at least based on what you said.
Yes.
I would definitely approach it more in like a logical pros and cons perspective, where it's like, look, it's gonna be bad for you in the long run if you fucking steal a cookie. Like, you're going to like kind of ruin the relationship you have with the person who you stole the cookie from. Like, you're gonna like, there's gonna be a lot of negative consequences. I would just hammer home the negative consequences of it and like how it will essentially make their life worse.
Yeah.
And it's like short term, like you're doing it short term impulsively. And I would tell them that it's actually stupid. I would paint the characteristic for that behavior as being stupid, almost like as a way to shame them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like shaming them out of doing it.
Yeah.
And I would say that you would be better off and you would be more intelligent and you would live a better life and be happier if you did this instead, like not steal a cookie, right?
Right.
Like earn the cookie, you lazy fuck type of thing.
Yeah. I see. Okay.
So I would be I would try and be very logical about it, and I would also almost like shame them in a sense by like tying it back into intelligence, because I know ENTPs are pretty big on intelligence.
Yeah, and consistency, like logical consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. The next question I have is not really related to this one, which is, where do you think you get your morality? I guess it's slightly related. Like your morality, you've told me about it a little bit, but some people would say it's really just intuition at some point. Like, but how do you know why something is not good and good to do? How?
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. So I don't view this as super black or white. I think it's very context dependent. I do think there are some general like rules of thumb you can follow when it comes to morality, where it's like, okay, you shouldn't do this and you should do that, right? To me, that's very intuitive, and I think it's probably like culturally influenced, like probably heavily culturally influenced, to be honest. Even in the sense of like, you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't murder, like all that stuff, right? Like it's bad to do that. But I will say that I think it's context dependent, because I do think that you should not just follow rules, and you should not even be beholden to just black and white morality straight up. Like, this is probably a bit odd, right? There are some great thinkers who totally disagree with this. I know Dostoevsky in like his fucking books, like the Brothers Karamazov, was trying to make the point that you kind of need like a black and white system for like people to follow in terms of morality and rules and how to live and stuff. He's like, humans need that. Like that was kind of one of his points in the book, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I kind of believe that people who are intelligent enough and people who are, let's say, capable enough of doing that for themselves, should do that for themselves.
Yeah.
And to me, that means that you want to take in the context of the situation and respond dynamically to meet the needs of that particular situation optimally.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think that every situation is the same. I don't think being black and white about it is clever. I think it's stupid to be totally black and white about it, even though in a way that saves brain power, right? That saves brain resources. Because you're like, okay, no, I believe this, so never do it. But I think that's lazy, and I think that's suboptimal, basically.
I see.
So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does.
I kind of.
No, the next question I have for you now is a hypothetical, a dilemma, an ethical dilemma. So you're gonna have to choose between A and B. A is you do nothing, and what that means is all of North America. And I know you're not from North America, so I don't have to rephrase it. All of North America sinks underwater. You don't have time to save anyone. It just sinks. But for some reason, when it does, it's not gonna. I mean, you can still live a normal life in a way. Like, economies aren't going to crumble too hard, like, for some reason. Like, it's just a bunch of people dying. For
everyone else is fine. Yeah.
Everyone else is not from North America. The other one, B, is you sacrifice your life to prevent North America. Like, we're talking about, like, literal North America. Like, with the people, Octi, everyone, you sacrifice your life to prevent North America from sinking. You're allowed to use any method of suicide available to you. Let me think if there's something I missed out.
This is probably going to surprise you.
I think I'm trying to see if it's complete. No, it's not complete yet. So the reason it sank, by the way, is something like that you don't have to worry about after, like in the sense that it's just a one-time thing. Like humanity doesn't need to worry about it again happening after.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I think that's it. That's hypothetical.
Okay. So my answer will probably surprise you. I would pick B, and the reason is because I don't think I'm afraid of death. Like, not really that afraid of death. I'm almost curious about it. Like, I love life, but in a way, that's kind of a cool legacy. Not that I care that much about legacy, but like that's kind of a cool gift to give in a way. I do like the idea of giving gifts.
And you don't.
And I'm not that afraid of death. Like, that idea doesn't scare me.
That's really cool. That's a power. I think that's a superpower for me. Like not being scared of death. Yeah, legit.
Yeah, at least not too scared of death, right? Like I would hate to die painfully, but if you can like bypass the pain, like I'm not that afraid of like the unknown of like the afterlife or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's just fucking blackness, right?
Yeah.
So I think I would choose B, because like.
Well, if it's blackness, you wouldn't be around to perceive it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be conscious, right? It would just be total lack of It's like when you fall asleep. It's essentially like that, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't be able to understand it because you're
So I think I would pick B. That's my
going to be. That's really interesting, the B thing, by the way. I'm actually Octi. Are you still there? I'm gonna ask Octi a question here. So I'm gonna ask you a hypothetical question, a moral dilemma, ethical dilemma. I'm just gonna have to rephrase it, Dan, for her. Like, so I guess. I guess Australia will be the one. Okay, so Octi, you do nothing, and all of Australia sinks underwater, but including Dan, he's dead. There's no time. You can't warn anyone. Can't do shit. Can't save people. It's a one-time sinking event. Like humanity doesn't need to worry about future events after. It's like a one-time thing. The only way you can save it is the only way you can save Australia there is letter B, which is you sacrifice your life to prevent Australia from sinking. You're allowed to use any method of suicide available to you.
Think of the koalas, babe.
So, pretty much you're asking would I sacrifice myself for Australia?
Yeah.
Yes.
You'd kill yourself for Australia.
Damn, this girl's that's pretty amazing.
What do you feel about people like Rudy saying both? I guess for both of you, but more so for Dan. But I want both of you to answer. People like Rudy, I think he was serious or semi-serious about saying this. He said he wouldn't sacrifice a lot of things to save Africa from sinking compared to other places.
I remember that.
Yeah. Do you think Africa it's a valid like distinction, or do you think no in terms of life and potential?
I wouldn't. I'm only really sacrificing myself because Dan would be there. That's it.
Oh
Oh my
shit!
god.
Oh
What a
shit!
sweetheart.
down.
What a
Oh
sweet-
shit!
I don't
Wait.
care.
So if you could
What a
say, if you
sweetheart.
could if you were allowed to warn Dan, like Dan, you need to leave Australia, you wouldn't sacrifice it. You just tell Dan like again.
No, if anything, that's even more amazing because now like I don't have to go to Australia. He can just come here.
Oh wait, so Octi,
So
wait, so
that's a 10 out of 10
so
situation.
so in this hypothetical,
Yeah,
if we change literally one part, which is Dan isn't in Australia, you wouldn't give a shit about Australia.
I wouldn't care. That's fine.
Holy
It's
shit,
Oh
Dan!
my god, Augie's such a badass, dude. It's hilarious. She's so funny.
Yeah, that's
The
hilarious.
koalas did nothing.
It's nothing about
Koalas
Australia
and
itself. It's
kangaroos.
just Dan. So if Dan was in
Yeah.
Africa, if Dan had a trip in Africa selling his selling his AI there in Africa, or ambassador of like Octi would also care.
because I mean,
Fuck.
it's like okay, because it's like, am I gonna sacrifice myself? Like, am I gonna sacrifice myself for one person? I'd think about it if they're like really close, but then I'd like in my head I'd compartmentalize and be like, well, I'm technically saving a whole bunch of like wildlife and other people. Of course I'm gonna do it, right? But then if like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
loved one is not there, I'm gonna be like, do I. You
That's
know,
the kicker.
I don't even
Yeah.
know what they provide to the world. You know, that's crazy. It sucks that it was me in that situation.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Dude,
So,
this girl's amazing.
yeah,
I fucking love that answer.
Amazing.
yeah.
That's
I also
amazing.
love the idea that I'd be selling my AI and the worst fucking market possible.
Yeah, like imagine you're physically going to Africa to go to Somalia selling your
Yeah.
AI for some reason to the pirates there. I don't know why you would be there, but
Yeah, the motherfuckers in their huts are goddamn like, yo, show me your AI, bro.
oh yeah, okay, interesting stuff. Um, so the next question I have is, well, there's a lot of insight that I'm getting for your morality so far, Dan. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Even from Octi's side, I also got some insight.
Wait, what did Dan say? I wasn't really
I
paying
don't
attention
remember.
too much.
Dan said he would sacrifice himself for North America, even if regardless of whether you were there, Octi. You were there, being there or not, he would save North
I didn't
America.
specify that. I don't think you
But
mentioned that part.
but it's a natural implication of what you said. Like you don't really care about
yeah,
Octi
you're
being
right.
there or
It's a
not.
natural implication that I said B, yeah, because we didn't mention Octi. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just a given that Octi did that. But yeah.
So he would just generally sacrifice North America.
Yeah.
So he's not like he doesn't have your answer, Octi, like where it's because Octi's there and I would save North America or something.
No, he would save it even if I wasn't there. He's a good lad.
Yep, he's a
I was basically saying I don't feel that afraid of death. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a cool legacy to leave. It's kind of a cool gift to be like, yo, like,
Yep.
I mean, even if no one knew about it, it would be kind of cool in a way. Because like I don't know. I don't think death is that scary itself. If you can die painlessly, that's
it's
kinda
the pain
interesting.
that's
I
scary.
would
It's the
literally-
pain. It's the pain. Yeah, it's the anticipation of
I
death
would be
as well.
so mad if I heard like out of nowhere like this random ass country in like Africa is dying, and then Dan out of nowhere was like, "I will die for them," and then now he's like gone, and I'd be so
Octi's
pissed and I'd be
like,
so
yeah.
jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like that affects your life, and it's like I'm being so
Yeah.
selfish right there. So selfish to save Africa.
It's
The
like
fucking
there's a lot of
starving
things
kids and shit.
pending in my life where I still need Dan, and like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually, and I would be pretty livid. I'd be pretty fucking sour.
Your whole plan.
All I gotta say is SMH. SMH.
You don't even know
know,
what's on the
Magpie
line,
is having
dude.
reality.
All right, this
That's
like
the
I'm
match.
relying on this guy for like all my financial reasons down the road. Like he needs to stay alive.
Let's see.
Yeah.
This is a slight.
Fascinating.
This is a
Good
slight.
thing I'm healthy. Good thing I got my shit together. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a quote, Dan, from like a movie,
dumb.
some movie quote from one. I forgot the movie, but some badass character, like I don't know, like I forgot the name of the movie, but some character was talking about like how death itself isn't the worst thing; it's the anticipation of death that's actually the worst thing or something.
I would
Like,
agree. I would
One of
agree with
those
that.
points, Yeah.
That is on point as fuck.
There's also the painful, like if it's a literal painful death, you wouldn't want that at all.
Yeah. Fuck that.
I think that's
Well, if it's on my own terms,
that applies to nearly anything that's pretty impactful. Like if you know that you're gonna be put in a shitty situation like 3 months from now, that you're gonna absolutely dread it. The
What-
anticipation. of
This
that's gonna be
reminds me of a
awful.
conversation I had with Dopa earlier today, Dan. I was talking to her in VC earlier today, and I was telling her that I think I would rather die from a car crash or something random like that, rather than like be told that, oh, by the way, man, tomorrow you're going to die, and there's nothing you can do about it. She said
Because
she
it's
said
like
it. She said the other side. She said she would rather
Dude.
anticipate death, like actually be given time to like
Yes.
spend one day of her life like doing her own thing. I said the other way. I said
That
no.
is-
I would
that's-
rather die randomly, like from a car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Because
said
you don't want to
yeah.
think about it.
She said like
You
if it
feel
was
pain of thinking.
yeah. She said if it was like Death Note style, where like she was told you're gonna get a heart attack at this time tomorrow. Here's nothing you can do about it. She would like.
Yeah.
Enjoy her life, their final day of her life, and then like kill herself before the thing actually happened. So if that was allowed in the
Right.
hypothetical, like if she could just like
That's a good point.
die on
that's
her
actually a
own
good
way,
point.
like a painless way that she
Yeah.
wants over like a heart attack.
Yeah. So I think, like, in a way, like, I see your point, and I think I resonate with that too, in a weird way. Like, there's some mental anguish involved with, like, okay, you're going to die at this time on this day, and it's like a day from now. That's kind of fucked. Like, I feel like I'll be like, oh shit, that changes. That would, like, fucking send your whole, like, nervous system into a whole fucking meltdown.
Yeah, I wouldn't
like,
want that. Yeah,
but-
for myself.
I wouldn't want that either.
For myself, like I would
But-
rather just
okay,
die
so
from
you
a
Want to know
car
what I would
crash.
say to that information?
A violent
Want to
car
know my
crash.
response to that information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, bet, bring it on, motherfucker. Better be bloody and brutal,
Oh, boy.
bitch. I'm fighting. I'm going down
Like
swinging,
fucking-
motherfucker.
Braveheart, dude. Yeah, you're just like, fucking
Yeah,
go at it, man.
basically.
Yeah.
Braveheart for your own
Yeah,
ass.
basically, I will charge gladly into death
Yeah,
if
I love
I
it.
know if it's for a good cause.
Yeah. I mean, what if it's for it's no cause? Like, you're just gonna die like, tomorrow.
Well, then I'll fight the circumstances. I'll be like, bet, motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
don't know my
that's
power
another
level,
thing. That's
bitch.
another thing Dopa said. She would try to if the hypothetical allows it, she would also like try to find a cure or like a way to prevent the thing as well.
No, I wouldn't find an alleviation. I would just fight it. I don't care.
Ray, what's going on, dude?
I would just go monkey brain. Hello, Ray.
Ray. Yeah. So,
Ray.
okay, so here's a really
Baby,
interesting
sweet
point
baby
there.
rays.
So, do you guys know who Charlie Munger is? Have you guys heard of him?
Who?
Not me.
Charlie Munger. I'm sure King
No.
knows who Charlie Munger is. So, Charlie Munger is one of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. He's Warren Buffett's business partner.
Yeah.
He's often been called the most rational person
The
alive.
Kingpin.
Right. So he's a very, very good thinker, very, very good decision maker, very, very good investor.
That's
Right.
great.
So
Yeah.
he's got a quote that is, "All I want to know is when and where I'm going to die, so I never go there."
Uh-huh.
It's a really, really interesting point. Where it's
I
like
have-
he wants that information because
Yeah,
it means he
I
can
have the res-
avoid it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought. I was just gonna say, like, I just had an epiphany. I would rather or know my circumstances of my death so I can go there gladly.
Damn.
That's pretty
Does that make
interesting.
sense?
You're such
Okay.
a fucking
Um,
warrior.
I know I'm in a situation right now where like I know I have to move to a place where I'm just gonna dread, but I do have to move there, and it's kind of like
Mentally.
cramping my vibe right now versus like out
Yeah,
of nowhere if
yeah.
they're like, oh hey, you have to move to this place by this weekend. I'm like, wow, okay,
Mm.
but there is some anticipation factor that just kind of sucks. It's kind of like if you knew for a fact that you're going to be thrown into a high security prison cell for 30 years, 7 months from now, and there's no way to avoid it, type of thing. You know, it's like it's just rough.
Yeah. That's just weighing on you. It's like the back of your mind
Mhm.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing if you think about it. If you're having to move somewhere that you hate, like that is kind of like a little death in a way.
The
Yeah.
the way I imagine it is extreme as well, or more extreme actually, which is
Yeah.
like the most extreme that I can think of is like being told by an ISIS member you're about to get tortured, and it's gonna be the slowest way you can possibly die, most painful as well.
Oh.
Or maybe like, oh, before you actually experience that, all your loved ones will be tortured in front of you first, and then you're the one who
Oh,
comes out.
man. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just imagine that stuff,
Dude.
Yeah.
I hate how cruel life can be. Like legitimately, there's some bad shit. But anyway,
There are things
get
you just outside our control. You just die. Like, I could literally die on. I always say this in random VCs sometimes when, I could legit just get an aneurysm right now in this conversation.
Yeah,
and
yeah, right now.
and you guys would just
Yeah.
hear me like gargling my saliva, like,
what can we do right now?
and you guys would be
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? No, you guys gonna be like depressed because
Oh.
the video's not gonna be uploaded on YouTube ever again. And I'll
What?
just
What?
yeah.
Bro,
But I'll ask you something.
flying
Under
through
what
the-
circumstances are things fair?
Fair. Did you say fair?
None,
Nothing.
life
fair.
is
Nothing.
fair.
Because you said it's unfair. Because you said it's unfair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is unfair, but life isn't fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
When is
Life-
anything ever fair? Completely.
Life is gay. Is how I say
Exactly.
it. That's how I say it.
Yeah.
Life is gay. yeah.
So
Ben
kick
said
in
it
its
like it's
nuts,
unfair.
motherfucker. Kick it back,
Yeah.
Life is really weird.
Take a bite out of it.
I've always found that really
Yeah.
weird about life, Dan, where it gives you stuff for free, but it also gives you dangerous shit for free. Like you get all the good things and the bad things at once, and none of it you worked hard
Yeah,
for.
it's so
Balance.
random, dude.
Because it's
chaos,
balanced, as all
and
things should be.
animals and creatures have brought order to it.
That's a good thing. At
Which
least
is kinda
life,
cool.
at least life isn't racist, right? You know, it just gives you whatever it wants randomly. RNG.
True.
Yeah.
Only a
Yeah.
certain part of life is racist, that being certain humans.
Yeah.
There's some RNG involved, yeah.
Even then, you can break stereotypes, but yeah, there's generalizations we can make for sure.
Absolutely.
So I guess we can move on to the next question, which is, do you consider yourself a traditional person in any sense, Dan?
No,
Not at all.
no.
Oh, this makes me want to ask the next question then. Would you disown your own daughter if she did OnlyFans for $1 trillion? This is, I know your answer, but I'm doing
No.
it for the video. Okay, you would not disown your daughter if she did OnlyFans for $1 trillion.
Bro.
I would not disown my daughter if she did.
Absolute
OnlyFans for $1
Giga
trillion.
Chad.
What do you feel about people who
Giga
would
Chad material,
disown?
Dan.
How dumb do you think are people if they disown their daughter for doing OnlyFans for $1 trillion? Generally,
I think they have a very serious and specific outlook, and they're probably a little bit controlling in terms of like,
Yeah.
like some Tywin Lannister type shit. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
you guys are familiar
I
with
know how
Game of
you mean.
Thrones, and he's like, do it for the legacy. And, like, do it for
Very
the House
schemy.
Lannister. It's like fucking and it's
Yeah.
like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, kids are their own people, right? Let them do what the fuck they want to do. If they're gonna make $1 trillion, they're literally like a fucking genius, right? Let them do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, spread your wings and
Exactly.
fly, my child. You know what I mean? Like,
uh-huh.
it's not my place to say that shit. And like, I wouldn't consider my child as this like extension of me that I own. Like no, dude, they're their
Yeah.
own person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm way more about.
They're an
freedom.
extension of you in that they borrowed some of your traits, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. And like, it's almost like
Yeah.
you give them those initial conditions, those origins, and that starting point, and you try and like shape them to be a good person, to be an effective person. But I'm not trying to control like their life and their decisions. Like let's say they turned out to, like, I guess the underlying point of this question is like, would you consider that a failure on your part if your kid ended up?
I know a
doing
guy who said.
OnlyFans?
I know a guy who said he would. Yeah. What about you then?
Yeah, I wouldn't
With $1
consider myself a
trillion.
failure. I don't view that as a necessarily negative thing. You can be super intelligent, super well adjusted, a great fucking person, and still do OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what I was legit like.
I've
That's what
considered.
that's what I wanted to tell Odyssey, which is that like if your daughter was hypothetically just really intelligent about her approach, and because obviously an average person, if they tried OnlyFans, there would be like a lot of pitfalls. There would be a lot of dangers. For example, if they might not have the most healthy approach, they could just mentally fuck themselves because people are going to abuse them and stuff. But like if your daughter was hypothetically really smart about it, like there's no problem in if they did all the proper if they've had all the proper preparations and just have the proper mindset entering it, like I don't see the problem with doing OnlyFans if you know how to approach it properly.
Me too. I feel very similar to you. Exactly. If you can do it smart,
Because
like absolutely
that's a reasonable
go at it. Like,
reason.
I'm not gonna.
That's
take
a
that as
reasonable
this, like,
approach.
thing on me where it's like I failed as a parent. Like, dude, you don't control everything. Like, do you really think you as a parent just get to control fucking everything? Like, are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Like, let them
Control's an
know.
illusion, my dude.
Exactly. And people try and extend that out to like everything, right? I think there's some kind of emotional issue there for people who do like take that too far.
Mm-hmm.
It's insecurity for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so
Dan, you seem pretty well adjusted. I like that. As it's rare these days.
Hey, thanks, man.
he is very well
I
adjusted.
don't know.
I
Or a
just-
refreshing
Man.
treat.
Yeah.
Did you know water is wet as well, Magpie? I bet you didn't know that.
No, sometimes dry. It can be dry. You ever think about snow?
Dry eyes.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
ice and snow are dry, idiot. Damn,
Yeah,
dog.
try and come up with some chemistry hypotheticals. And, like, prove it
What the
wrong.
fuck? Proceeding is
Yeah.
I'm reading my notes right now. It says Andrew Tate. Okay, so I actually feel like I know what you would say, but like I guess from the video, can you tell me TLDR about Andrew Tate? Do you have a Andrew Tate manifesto or something?
So I've got some thoughts on Andrew Tate. So I think he's a brilliant marketer and a brilliant salesman,
Mhm.
and I think he's brilliant at building a brand.
Yeah.
And I would say that there's a lot about Andrew Tate to admire. He's got a lot of great qualities. And this is going to sound like a weird comparison, but very influential people should be learned from, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you
agree
necessarily
with
want to
you.
copy them and emulate them wholesale, but emulate their powerful qualities. Because if you want to make some kind of impact, if you want to make things happen, if you want to have influence, emulate the fucking qualities that give you that ability, right? And Tate
It's a
obviously has
fantastic
that
point. It's kind of
Yeah.
like art from
Yeah.
artist sort of deal. It's
Wait,
the
what was
applied
that, dude?
philosophy. I said it's like art, separating the art from the artist, except it's with
Oh yeah, that's a
philosophy.
great point.
It's called being a
That's a
pragmatist.
great
Yeah.
point. Absolutely. Because yeah, the art can be amazing. It doesn't matter about their personal life and who they are as a person, right? It's kind of irrelevant for like our intents and purpose. So I'm not going to say I like Andrew Tate. I think
Fair
that he can be like toxic. I think that he can have negative influence on people. But that's not like his primary concern, right? He might even think he's doing a good thing. I do think he's being selfish, like in the same way that I think Donald Trump is being selfish, because he's got a lot of influence and a lot of like power as well. But I think he's very self-serving, and I think it's the same with Andrew Tate. So I don't like that aspect about him.
Yeah.
But all his other qualities, man, he's got power, and I can admire that, and I can respect that, and his marketing in particular. The way he built his fortune, which is essentially getting fucking teenagers to be affiliate marketers for him. I think that's genius. That's really genius.
I wonder if he was shitting in the bathroom like
He
me
was
when he found out about
He is,
that.
he is a good genius, yeah.
I wonder what made him think
He
about
is a
that. You know?
genius for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, ideally, I would like for him to be like promoting something like that has a net positive on society in some way.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he were like that, if he were going to promote something that would have a net
Sex
positive,
offender
maybe
and
he
a
wouldn't be that
sex-
effective.
Actually, this is like not really related to your typing, but I'm just really curious, Dan. Do you think there's a strong possibility that he doesn't actually believe the stuff he says about women? Like he's just doing it for the attention, for like the controversy, so to
Yeah.
promote his Hustlers University stuff.
Yep. I would say he absolutely 1,000% increases the level of embellishment and hype that he puts towards it for his content. No doubt.
Damn, what a genius this guy is. Andrew Tate.
That's actually pretty smart. I should take a look at this. I'm all about psychoanalyzing evil just to get more powerful. So I get you.
Totally. That's a great way to do it too. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm down for that. We should do that shit like a group setting.
You should give me
Fucking-
your yeah, we should do it. Hell yeah, we should do a book club about it.
Yeah, totally. I'd be down, man. Influential people
fun.
and powerful people are very like interesting to me. They're very intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this makes me want to ask the next question, which is, I think you've answered this, but I don't remember your answer. It's the snowflake one, the one with like a server full of snowflakes. I would need to find.
Yeah.
I would need to find it again just so I can say it for the video.
Is this where
the hug box one?
you offend them? Yeah, you offend them.
Yeah. So it's the one where you offend a bunch of snowflakes in a server for an absurd amount of money, but you would hurt their feelings. But they're not gonna. Okay. Shit. I need to find the exact details.
Oh, so I can like answer it because I know the gist of it.
Okay, do it. Yeah, I'll just flash it in the screen as
So-
well for the people in the video.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the gist of it is like there's a whole server full of snowflakes. Would it be fair to say you offered like $1 billion, or is that too high?
In
So
the
it's going, like,
hypothetical,
hurt
I'm
their
reading it right now. It's not too important, obviously, but like it's 100,000 there in the hypothetical, but you can make it higher. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, 100K.
100K.
To hurt their feelings, and they don't have any like crazy over the top consequences for having their feelings hurt, right? It's just like you upset them. They might like cry or something.
Yeah, they're gonna cry probably. It says they're innocent, kind, wholesome, sensitive, sustainably productive,
Yeah, and
healthy,
they haven't done
honest
anything
members of
wrong.
society. Yeah.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, I would absolutely do that. And one reason is
you would roast the
I
shit out
could
of their
give them
faces.
fucking $100.
Yeah.
Give them $100 each.
Yeah.
That's easily
But
worth
even
it,
if
you know?
I think in the hypothetical it says they don't care, they're set for life and they don't give a crap about money, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think. For
Okay.
you. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a really interesting answer.
Yeah.
I would be totally okay doing it, getting the 100K, because that's a huge fucking benefit, and then I would just go and fucking give him a hug after, like literally.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Genius. It's a
Be like,
genius.
sorry,
Make
it's
up
just
for
for
it,
the.
yeah.
It was just for the scam. Yeah, it was just a
Make 'em
scam.
feel
Don't worry
better
about it.
They're like,
You should
kinda
share some of the
snapping
wealth
them
back.
out.
Share some of the wealth
Yeah.
back to sweeten the pot.
Exactly.
There you go.
So emotionally, you're like kicking them in the nuts, but then
Yeah.
you can go and give them a hug and,
And actually, like, bringing up
massage
their
balls up.
yeah, you would bring up their
Exactly.
insecurities and like things that really bother them, but you would also like just hug them after. Although,
Exactly. And like, dude, you can even take it to the next level. And I possibly would. I would be like, yo, here's some ways to not get affected by that shit again. Because like, I just poked a wound for you. Here's how you can fucking fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
I think they just need the emotional support afterward. But yeah,
Yeah. they need the aftercare, basically.
yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, it's aftercare for the CPT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On point.
This one.
Cognitive behavioral therapy. YouTube.
Yeah.
Just making that clear.
This one, I was talking to Magpie about this earlier, or not earlier, days ago, and I think I'm ready to ask you it as well, Dan, which is the mechanics of the N-word. So when it comes to the N-word,
Oh, this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was mind-boggling to me. I'm just like, you're really testing my limits, dude. It's like, ow. You're stretching.
Hit me, daddy.
The cool thing about Dan is I feel like Dan and I have pretty much the same opinion about it. So, but I'll just go for it anyway. For the video. And maybe I'm wrong. You know, so maybe you have some nuance with your answer. But with the N-word, Dan,
Maybe they'll get canceled.
would you? I'm assuming you would agree with the idea that using the N-word in private with a bunch of your friends is fine. Like, oh, not the N-word, just slurs in general, including the hard R N-word.
Yeah.
If you're with your trusted friends and you all are really cool, amazing people with just a twisted sense of, not even twisted, it's just like average humor in some servers nowadays. But like, that's fine, right, for you?
Totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're being uninhibited like that, you can be like, in a way, it's almost fun to be a dickhead. You know, it's almost fun to be an asshole type of thing. Like, you're just playing around, you're just like joking around. You don't necessarily like. I guess some people would fucking accuse you of like that means you're really racist or some shit like deep down. Like, no, dude. Like, we can use like you can push the boundaries just for fun, you know. And I think that's totally fine, especially when you're with friends.
I know I definitely don't like surrounding myself
I just
in that
been-
environment like at all.
Yeah, me neither. That'd make me very uncomfortable.
Wait, what? Pushing
That's
boundaries?
just me. No, just pushing boundaries in that sort of fashion. I'm fine with pushing boundaries more gently.
What sort of fashion? Like, how? When you say that sort of fashion, what do you mean?
Using slurs. Even just as jokes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think that really bothers me that much. I think I would say, in a way, I actually kind of appreciate it because I like the idea of people developing a thicker skin and not taking life so seriously.
Yeah.
So I actually think there's benefit to that.
Yeah. The other sides I've seen about it are interesting as well.
But I'd also say that you aren't affected by any slurs either. That really matters. Is so.
What, me?
Unless if I'm assuming some things.
Yeah, I'm not white.
Okay. I mean, for instance.
So
I don't like being around that environment where people are saying like a lot of slurs, more particularly like the N-word and stuff, just because I'm afraid of developing bad habits like myself.
Same.
yeah. So you wouldn't mind that
bad.
environment, Octi, if there was a guarantee you would not develop bad habits.
That's a good question.
Is that right, Octi?
Correct. If I know like I wouldn't habitually be overly desensitized, I wouldn't accidentally slip like in the workplace
Yeah.
or in a different crowd and everything, then yeah, I don't want to care.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great answer. And a great question too.
It was. I don't think
It's
we're
great,
gonna
isn't
have
it?
that conversation because the one that I had with Magpie, because
Yeah, it'll
but like,
impede.
but,
Yeah,
but the
it'll
one,
impede the progress.
because no,
Please
no, no, no,
continue.
not that's not the reason. It's because like you guys have different answers about it. Like Magpie has some nuances with his answer.
Yeah.
But like I'm just
we
gonna.
get into discussion.
But I
Yeah.
want to like TLDR like the direction of that conversation. It was really funny to me. So Magpie and I were just
Yeah,
like
please go ahead, Ben.
I was really testing the limits of his like more attitude towards it. Then like I was giving him a million hypotheticals. Like, okay, what about an Asian guy saying the C word to like to his like or like imagine like a white guy asking for his C word for his Asian friend to say the C word around him, and like there's just a bunch of like multi-million variables, and see what he would say. Just throwing like pebbles at him and see, or like throwing like food to the pigeon. But yeah,
I just want to give you some credit.
How do you think I
for
respond
how
to that, by the way,
you
Ben?
can actually update the hypothetical to nail down the exact point you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's
Like, the
really
way you
good.
did that with Octi,
I agree.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. That was very, very clever. Because you knew exactly where you wanted to go intuitively,
yeah.
and you kind of got exactly the answer that you expected from it.
This is why the
like-
script
Yeah,
stuff.
that was quite impressive.
This is why the script
yeah.
stuff is. Thank you. This is why the script stuff is important. Like not important, but like helpful, because instead of winging stuff, I could genuinely make a flowchart of like how people would answer these questions and just genuinely see. Like okay, you think this is bad? You think the N word should not be said even in private? Okay, let me give you a follow up question. But it seems like for Octi, like it's about habits. It's really what she cares about.
Yes. Yeah, you knew, like intuitively, you knew what it was, or you could guess, and you kind of went in that direction to narrow it down, which I think is just really clever. The speed at which you did that was really good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the cool thing. There's the N word and a bunch of other words. It applies to. I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good idea of your general stuff
I could
about
just give you the
morals.
TLDR.
Oh, Magpie. Oh, I think you've told me about it actually.
Oh, about the conversation. Oh, yeah. My bad.
Your answer.
I thought you were just gonna bring it up. My bad. I'm sorry for being disruptive again.
We're just talking about like I'm just talking about like Dan's typing. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, my bad.
Actually,
No, I just got lost in thought. My bad.
Do you want to
Got wires
share?
crossed.
Do you want to share your summary of your response to that hypothetical? Magpie?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's a combination of Octis with like another. Basically, yeah. I don't want to develop bad habits, but also it evokes that kind of demeaning language, in my opinion, evokes a lot of emotional reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd rather not. It's draining to be around that kind of behavior.
Yeah. So
my question for you, Magpie, is so I guess you would get affected by that kind of language essentially. Like you would have an unfavorable or an unpleasant response to that, which is why you don't really want to be.
Yeah, unless if I sense the context. But even then, it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
dude, this is so funny. I get to share one of the most retarded or like autistic stories you guys are gonna hear. So, Mr. Autistic Man, there is a time before today or before this year, 2022. So it's so far, it's ridiculous. When I pretty much the entirety of my life, most of my life, like 90%, 99% of my life, I didn't swear. Like I'm talking about like not even the word shit or fuck. Like I would so it's like kind of like an extreme version of what Octi's morality approach, and Magpie as well, like a lot of people's approach, which is like not developing bad habits. So I really took that seriously. For like 22 years or 20 years or whatever, to the point that like I didn't even say like every time I say the fuck back then, it would just be frick. What the frick? If you go to my YouTube videos, all of them are just me saying what the frick. Like people would even like point it out about me, like what you keep saying what the frick. Yeah, like legit. No matter what the context is, even with my closest friends, even with Dopa, like it doesn't matter, dude. It would be give me like my best friend, my girlfriend, whatever. I would just not say even the most slight curse word, whatever. So this went on for a while, and then I started thinking of like exceptions and where maybe I should say in this context. Well, you guys know I already say it in this VC, like shit, fuck. Life is different now. This is a very recent change. The reason it changed is very recently is So actually, let me see. So in bed, like when people are fucking in the bedroom,
Yes,
you
yes.
kind of need to be nasty with your language
Dirty
if you yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's like one
Oh, yeah, I
exception
got you.
I've had along.
That's hilarious.
Ever since I lost my
Yeah.
virginity, I kind of like just learning about kinks and stuff. Like, okay, you know what?
Yeah,
I kind
it
of
made
need.
you more based.
I kind of need
Yeah,
to make an
exactly.
exception, I can't just keep saying frick. I'm not gonna say what. Oh, I want to frick you right now, baby. Let's frick right now. Like, no. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say.
Hilarious, dude.
Yeah, my Jimmy's getting hard right now. I'm not, dude. So,
Yeah.
so,
What
so,
are you, a Mormon?
the problem is, I recently, maybe like last year or this year, also like did this thing called e-sex. So so the thing with e-sex is it's gonna be more focused on a lot of like obviously speaking, right? Unless you're doing sign language on video call or something, which would be retarded. But like in order to do e-sex, you need to speak and say stuff. So it's kind of like I ended up. Even in bed, like you would still need to speak to an extent, but it's not as bad. Like you don't have to speak that much compared to like on e-sex.
Yeah, because touch is
Touches,
involved. Yeah.
Yes. But so this is why I think I because of my e-sex shit, I ended up just starting swearing in general. Like that's it. The
It's
e-sex
Giga
stuff.
Chat.
It's
You
if
just became a Giga Chat.
if the e-sex stuff
Let's
didn't
just go.
happen, if I just stuck with normal sex, I would just like in this whole
Man,
VC.
I don't think I'd like you if you didn't have sex. I don't think I'd like you. I think I would.
In this
I think I would
VC
call you a nerd and turn bully.
in this VC, I wouldn't be saying a single like, even the most slight like shit or whatever. I wouldn't say a single curse word because of thank God for e-sex. Like if e-sex didn't happen, like I wouldn't.
Literally. Dude, I gotta say, as weird as
Yeah, Ben, I don't think I would have
I
respected
do
you.
respect you more for being able to swear. So,
Yes.
I don't think that someone who swears excessively, like, that's not someone to respect. But I think that
Yeah.
the ability to do that is, like, you gotta have
It's
that
the art
freedom,
of
right?
swearing.
I kind of like that.
It's the
ability
art
to
of
be a little bit
swearing.
rebellious. Yeah, you want to be able to push boundaries. Like, I like someone who can do that. I like someone that isn't just such a rule follower. So I really like that. I like the fact you can go and swear now. And I love the fact that it's
damn.
for sex.
This
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
this is where me and Dan start clashing because I actually want to move to a direction where I'm cursing a lot less.
That's understandable.
Ironically.
Because
I'm
you're a
the same,
business
though.
owner.
Mhm.
You're a business owner, and in North America, that shit
Oh,
matters.
dude,
Because
I swear in my official marketing. Like,
well, yeah,
100%
because you're
swear.
Australian.
I know. Oh my god. So
You can get away with it. You can get away with it, you
to give
dumb
you guys an
cunt.
update, me and Dan here, we pretty much work together. And when he first sent me like his proposition and all of that, there was like it was so casual and everything that I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god. This isn't
This is
I'm
not
just gonna
fly
let
with my business
I'm gonna
partner.
go ahead
Yeah.
and take care of this by myself and not show him this prospect.
I was literally just
Yeah.
like just throwing in the fucking F-bomb and everything in the like just
Yeah, I'm like, oh my
so
god.
casually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like I want to stand out. I want to be different. I don't
You know-
want to be fucking boring and professional.
And here's the
Yeah.
thing too. It's like everybody else I've been in a meeting with,
Seems
like,
more
just everybody else in the
authentic.
business. Yeah, they curse too. They say shit,
That's
fuck, all
legit.
that, like, and all of that. But me personally, I just don't. It's not me during work.
Just you just want
Yeah,
to have
you
a
gotta-
clean image.
Oh, no.
You just want to have a
You're
clean
playing a
image,
role.
and that's respectable.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
I
exactly.
respect exactly.
Yeah, that's
There's a particular
respectable.
role you want to play.
But
Yeah, it's the same.
Dan's
thing.
trying to be a bit
I'm
more
just playing a
authentic in his
different role.
marketing.
Hello, magician.
Yeah,
True,
and a
he
bit more
is.
rebellious
Yeah.
in that sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we're both
Yeah.
playing roles. It's just we're deciding to play different roles, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Complimentary.
the
So
king,
I'll be
the
bad
queen
cop,
versus
you
the
be
court
good
jester.
Good cop, bad
The
cop.
queen
yeah.
versus the court jester, perhaps.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yo, magician. What's up, dude?
Hello,
what's up?
magician. Welcome home. We're trying to type Dan on video.
Damn.
Sick.
What was the
So,
most
yeah.
recent thing? We're talking about like the N word or something. Oh yeah, the swearing in sex, right? Swearing in sex. Yeah. We're just chilling right
Wait.
now.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dan.
Yeah.
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
So,
So we're
okay,
testing my
Dan,
morality right now. To see
What?
how moral of a person I am.
Yeah.
Whether
I
I'm
remember
terrible or whether I'm a good person.
You thought you were ENTP, and then now you're saying you're ESTP, and now you're like, okay. Why? Okay, why do you not think you're ENTP?
I think, like, if anything, I think at my core, I'm probably INTP.
Oh, that's funny, Dan.
I think I've just developed.
You know, that's funny,
Yeah.
Dan, because I'm about to type you for morals. I think you're an INTP in morals. That's funny.
Yeah,
The funny
yeah.
coincidence is because you just mentioned the word INTP, and I was literally about to announce that you're an INTP in my moral thing. So, but you can continue. Your magician was on a train of thought or something. With Dan,
Yeah. Do you think, like, at my core, I'm either ISTP or INTP, and I lean towards INTP.
Yeah.
I just think I've developed
so
like other functions.
You're pretty sure you're a TI dom.
Oh, his TI is insane,
I think
dude.
so.
Dan's TI is one of the best I've
Yeah.
seen. Yeah.
I have to say,
Thanks.
yeah, Dan's TI is one of the highest.
I actually detected it like as well, like maybe like day for my first week in the server, because I was talking to a few people like
Really?
SCC, Octi, and Dan. Yeah, no, it's something that you could see like a radar as a TI person myself, or like any TI. Like I just kind of
TI.
detect that shit. Like I tend to like people who with good TI. So when I see like someone has potential to have good TI
Dude,
as well. It's kind of like my brain just kind of it's like a gay radar, like oh my fellow gay TI user.
I got the same thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was.
If someone's TI is straight up there, like you can see it obviously, and it's like really high, that means they're either TI dominant or TI tertiary.
Dude, I did not
Yeah.
realize how deep Dan's TI was until he pretty much started working with me. And I
Right,
saw
shit.
like his actual like strategy like go into play and his brainstorming, and I was like, I had to take a step back. I'm like, what is happening right now? It was really intense.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, I'm very intense.
I think there's a context thing about Octi. You know, the first time I was in the server, I was just spamming hypotheticals or like just asking. So Dan was one of the few people that were like really engaging my questions. So like I kind of like had like an or like a head start, or like it's one of the first insights that I had about some of the people in the server. Like it makes sense that like my gay TI radar would like notice that.
Yeah, you picked up on it. It's me too, man. I love it when I see people who have those same qualities.
Yeah.
NETI are like my favorite qualities when it comes to people like that. It's just so fucking good.
It's really nice. Generally, just what I want to
it's so,
see
like,
in a lot of
calming
people.
and
Yeah,
energizing.
it's energizing. It's stimulating. Yes,
So stimulating,
it's
dude.
stimulating.
Exactly.
It's like
That's why you're fucking morning coffee, bro. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
actual morning coffee.
Yeah.
You know, when people like when they look for people to date, they go for looks, whatever, and then I'm just like, and
You want
also like,
stimulus.
and for me, it's like I want stimulation. You know, it's my own version of what I want to see in people. I'm just kind of like big on it. Like, I just don't want to be with boring people. That's gonna be a waste of my time. It's gonna be a waste of their time.
100%.
And even the weird thing is, it's not even necessarily like mutual. Like I could actually waste my time entertaining someone who is not really valuable to me. So it's like, you gotta be careful about that stuff. I don't want to waste my time. So
Yeah, 100%.
I just don't feel like I'm wasting my
people.
time if I'm with the right people, like TI people. I just a good use of my time.
I feel like exactly the same way. We're like looking for the right kind of vibe, right? I'm on the exact same wavelength.
Same wavelength people, yeah. But there you go. You're an INTP in terms of morals. Dan.
For morals, okay, sick.
Oh my gosh.
So
kinda
what's the
dig that.
difference between an ENTP?
It's a good question.
Oh, you have morals. Easy.
An ENTP, like me, for example. You remember shit? I'm gonna look horrible from this. I think my morals, in terms of morals, I'm more of an ENTP. Octi and I are more ENTP because she said she would not kill herself to save North America or like Australia or whatever, right? She would not prevent like an extreme amount of suffering on planet Earth if it required her own demise. So it's the same with me. Like an ENTP would more likely. It's not like the only reason you're not an ENTP.
Vibe checking. Yeah.
That's the vibe. Compared to just comparing all your other answers as well. It's just like, you know, people like Octi and I, we are more of an ENTP because of this level of like selfishness.
You're telling me most people would not like save themselves to kill a bunch of people to save themselves though? You think those people are heroes?
I think Dan knows one of the few people who would save I don't think he's common though. People like Dan who would actually like kill himself to prevent North America from sinking. I think that's not a common thing. I think most people would be like me and Octi about it.
probably would be more of a feeler who would choose that. But for me, it's more just like
Oh my god.
I almost feel like
Oh.
it's kind of just like, well, I'm not really afraid of death, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I love life. Life's pretty
How much of
fucking
a
amazing,
martyr
but...
complex you have?
Wait, what was that, magician?
It's how much of a martyr complex you have.
Yeah, maybe I
Like,
do have a martyr complex. Totally. I like.
Like
Maybe I
if
do.
you if you really feel like the whole of humanity is more important than you, or do you think you're more important than humanity? Most people are selfish. Most people would pick themselves.
Yeah, but in a way, like I could totally flip this and be like, I think I'm so important and so good that I could make that decision, and it's like, I saved America. You know what I mean? I could take that.
Yeah. Exactly. A lot of people that make that decision won't even do it to save America. They do it to look good.
For their ego.
Yeah, so it could be that,
For
right?
the legacy. That.
I mean, to me, it's both. To me, it's both, right? Like, it's a win-win in that sense. And it's like, well, you know, life's pretty amazing, but like, I don't think I'm that afraid of death. Like, there's some curiosity there too. It'd be pretty cool to
I mean,
you know,
yeah.
it's like a mic
People
drop
say they're
moment,
not
right?
afraid of death.
To exit the stage like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people say they're not afraid of death, but if they're in the water with a shark that's chasing them, they're suddenly they become scared of death.
So yeah, in practice,
think
things
that's a
can always look
survival
very
instinct.
different. Yeah.
I think that's a survival instinct, though. If you would like to just get a lethal injection, that's kind of different, you know?
Dude, that would be great.
Survival instinct.
I would love to die in a submarine personally. Like I want to die on a submarine and just get crushed by the water pressure.
Oh no.
Like in the
Oh my god.
in the ocean gate
Did you
gate
go on
thing.
that Titanic submarine?
I want to go there. Like if I had to die and I could choose the way I would die and had infinite resources, I would just be like on the Titanic thing and then just like be on the I just get crushed by the ocean, you know. That sounds nice.
No.
Actually, I had a more elaborate plan about it. Like I would beg for the justice system to like get me when I'm asleep, transport me underwater and then just get crushed under the water pressure in the Titanic or something. That would be great.
Gotcha.
That'd be great. I guess lethal injection
Okay,
works too,
so
but you know that's boring.
If
Yeah.
you'd be asleep if that happens, so you want people to, you want everybody to know you as someone who died in the submarine.
No, it's more of it's just not. It's not gonna. I mean that's cool as well,
Yeah.
but I don't really care about that. But like that's another bonus. It's more of it's a painless way to die. Like if they do it right, I'll just get crushed by the water pressure and I'll just stop existing after
fair
a few
enough.
seconds. That's what I care about. If it wasn't clear, I think it wasn't clear. I didn't specify, but that's the reason. That's the reason. It's just getting crushed quickly. Obviously, there's the lethal injection, but again, it's boring. I would rather get crushed by the water pressure.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
By the way, boys and girls, I do have to hop off in like 5 minutes.
I think we're done with
could-
morality. We're done with morality, so we can just like continue next time. I think
Nice.
I'm gonna end the recording here now.
That
What are your last words?
was
guys?
pretty sick, man. I enjoyed the shit out of this, actually.
Yeah.
You're so great with like interviews and shit, Ben.
Thank you,
I really enjoyed this.
All right,
Yeah,
last
really,
words.
really good.
Last words.
I would say Mr. Thick is the only fucking typology system that Daddy believes in.
All right.
That's my final word.
Bye, YouTube.